Tonight, I want to talk about Emmanuel Macron and his beloved wife Brigitte, and how there's nothing at all unhealthy about their relationship. Now, just for my purposes tonight, I will I will discuss Brigitte. I will give Brigitte the pronoun of she and her. Although that doesn't mean I've come down on the side of any of either side of that dispute. I just don't know. I don't know what I believe, and I what I do believe is that their story is weird and perverse enough already, and so even if she is a she the way that we're told that she is, there's still so much wrong with with this couple, and it truly is a case of degeneracy running the show. But I don't want to talk about all the details of their weird courtship, how they met when she was 37 and he was 14, and she was a teacher and he was a student, and all that kind of stuff. That seems, I don't know. I guess it just flies in France. That stuff just flies, and nobody gives it a second thought. And but I think it's that alone uh, is pretty damn disturbing. I will confess to not liking Emmanuel Macron. In fact, I would say that he was while old JT was still on the scene, up in the Northlands here in North America. That behind JT, the world leader for whom I had the biggest hate boner was Emmanuel Macron. I just don't like him. I don't like him, but I do feel sorry for him a little bit, because I think the evidence suggests that he's a battered man. We all saw it, or if you didn't see it, maybe you didn't. But everybody who has access to the official news and what they put out, the images that they put out, it was there. It's right there. It's not something. It wasn't captured on some hidden camera. It was right there in plain sight. You don't have to look hard to find it. And it's when they're getting off of a plane in that just landed in, is it Vietnam or Thailand? Uh, I'm not sure which of those two countries it is. Uh, but you see the doors open, and then you see, again, look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. If this is totally new to you and you didn't see it and you think I'm making this up and you think it's all this is, and I don't know if you've bought into the idea that this is just a this is just a conspiracy theory, and it's being amplified by Russian bots and all of that stuff that they always seem to try to say whenever they're shown in a bad light. Whenever they want to change the subject, or they want to try to convince you that what you just saw isn't what you really just saw. They talk about the Russians and how nefarious they are and how they're behind everything. But this didn't have anything to do with the Russians. This had to do with a man being shoved in the face with two hands. She put two full hands on his face and pushed him backwards. And it's a wild shot. Again, it's right there. It's right there in front of the world for everyone to see. it happened. And they can't even claim that it didn't happen. What they tried at first to say was, well, they were just horsing around. They were just being playful. They didn't. They're not being playful. This is not a couple having a playful little pretend fight or whatever it is. There's no smiles. There's in fact, when you see Macron get the shove and he staggers backwards, and then he looks out at the world and sees that the doors are open, sees that the cameras are peering in to the plane. Um, there is a split second where he is absolutely he just stares at the world uh, with a totally blank expression, like he's just thinking to himself, "Uh oh, they saw that, didn't they? They saw that." And then he recovers pretty quickly because I guess when you're a battered man and you are often in front of cameras, you learn, and if you're a high level politician, you learn to be you learn to dissimulate, and you learn to turn it off immediately. So he looks out at the world with utter terror. Uh, I hate to say deer in the headlights, but because that's very cliche, but something like that. He you could freeze frame on him, for a split second, for maybe half a second, where he's just absolutely like, oh, and then he smiles and acts all, tries to act all suave and like nothing's really happening. But you saw what you saw. Okay, it happened like it happened, and then they when they're walking down the steps off the plane, he tries to he offers her his arm, and she ignores it. She ignores his arm. She's still fed up with him, clearly, for whatever reason. Whatever happened on that plane. Uh, that's something we don't know. We don't know about, uh, but nevertheless, the fact that we saw this and that this can't be denied, and it can't be explained in the way that they try to explain it. You know, again, we've got already a really this crazy situation where the first lady, again, putting aside whether she's a lady or not, I'm just I'm not even opening uh, that that whole that whole can of worms. I was trying to think of a better way to put it, but I'm just full of cliches right now. But yeah, putting all that aside, it's just very clear that this was something that this was an instance of violence where she attacked him, and I'm sympathetic to battered men. Battered men don't get the proper respect. They're not recognized as being among the abused. So, while I dislike Macron for just about everything that he does and just the way that he seems to be, uh, I do have a certain sympathy for him because obviously he's in a relationship where things like this happen. But I mean, uh, you marry someone you get together with someone when you're 15, and she's like in her late 30s. It's all so there's almost a 25-year age difference between the two of them, and now he's like what, in his 40s and she's in her 70s, I think. It's it's already pretty strange. We've already got a pretty strange dynamic, And this is who they see to it is running one of the major countries. One of the powerhouse countries of Europe is being run by this guy who is in this kind of situation with his so-called wife. Anyhow, I just wanted to comment on that, and I'd be open to hearing whatever anyone else has to say about it.